All right, so this is the Unit 10 Notes, Video 2, and for these notes you're going to need something to write with and a couple of highlighters. So the standard that we're going to be talking about today is standard S8P1F, and that standard says to construct an explanation based on evidence to describe conservation of matter, and remember matter has to do with mass. One way we'll prove that is by some problems with mass, in a chemical reaction, including the resulting differences. So in math, when we're talking about a difference in something, that means that we are going to subtract. So let's make note of that. Okay? Between products and reactants. Products are what go in the reaction, or products are what you get out of the reaction, and reactants are what go in the reaction, what actually reacted together. Products are what you get. And then the clarification statement is evidence could include models such as balanced chemical equations. So that's kind of a big deal right there in chemistry, are the balanced chemical equations. So the first thing is the law of conservation of matter, and this is going to seem very similar to something you've already heard, which is the law of conservation of energy. And it says that during a chemical reaction, matter cannot be created nor destroyed, it can only change forms. And that's just like what you learned with the law of conservation of energy. We can't create it, we can't destroy it, we just change its form. So the mass of the reactants must equal the mass of the products. Whatever goes in the reaction must equal what comes out of the reaction. So the reactants, those are the substances before the reaction occurs. And our example for that is in the combustion reaction of methane, the reactants are CH4 and O2. CH4 is methane gas and O2 is, of course, oxygen gas. So at the top of your paper, I want you to add the combustion of methane, CH4 gas, and we're going to write this down. CH4 is methane plus O2 is oxygen, and those are our reactants. Okay, that is what is going into the reaction. That's what's reacting together. Then we're going to draw this arrow, and that arrow indicates that a chemical reaction has occurred. And we've learned about chemical changes. So a chemical reaction occurs, and we're going to make something new, but we can only make it out of what we have. The elements here that we have are carbon and hydrogen and oxygen. So that's our only option for what can come out of the reaction to be our products. Okay, products are what we make. And that's going to go on this side of the reaction. So products, those are the substances there after the reaction takes place. So if we have carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen going in the reaction, we can only have carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen coming out of the reaction. So for the burning of methane gas, which is what we use for our Bunsen burners in lab, our products are H2O and CO2. And at this point, I hope we all know that H2O is water and CO2 is what? Carbon dioxide gas. So then the next thing that I want you to look, because when we're starting to think, we're not going to get into this too heavy just yet, but we should start to think about this, balanced chemical equations. We see that one carbon went in, one carbon went out. We see that 4 hydrogens went in, only 2 hydrogens came out. And that's where we can start balancing these chemical reactions, and in doing so, we can't play with the subscripts but we can put big coefficients out in front. So if I would have put a big 2 out in front of this water, 2 times 2 gives me 4 hydrogens, and that's going to balance out with the 4 hydrogens on the reactant side. So now my hydrogens are balanced, my carbons are still balanced, and let's look at my oxygens. I have 2 oxygens on the reactant side, and I've got 2 oxygens here. 2 times that understood 1, and I've got 2 oxygens here. So I've got 4 oxygens on the products, and only have 2 here. How can I fix that? By putting a big 2 out in front. So one final check. 1 carbon, 1 carbon, 4 hydrogens, 2 times 2, 4 hydrogens, 2 times 2, 4 oxygens, and then I've got 2 oxygens here plus 2 oxygens there, give me 4 for the products. This is now a balanced chemical reaction for the combustion, which is just a fancy word for burning, of methane gas. All right, we'll keep going with our notes. It said write the combustion reaction of methane gas below, label the products and reactants. We did above. Because there's just not enough room. Okay, so we did above. All right, so next we have the formation of rust. Okay, so rust is a phenomena that occurs on iron, Fe. So you have iron plus oxygen. Whenever oxygen is involved, you have rust occurring on that metal, and it makes iron oxide. So you have 4 irons plus 3 oxygens makes 2 iron oxides. So we have 4 iron atoms and 3 oxygen molecules because it's O2. And that gives you 2 iron oxide molecules, and that's Fe2O3. And when we check to see if this is balanced, 4 irons on the reactants, 2 times 2, 4 irons on the products, 3 times 2, 6 irons on the reactants, 2 times 3, 6 irons on the products. It is balanced. Feel free to pause the video to catch up with that if you need to. All right, now here's how we can go back and show this with mass, as we have right here. Suppose a sample of iron with an initial, that means a starting mass, of 223.38 grams completely rusts, producing 319.38 grams of iron oxide. How many grams of oxygen combined with the iron in this reaction? Explain how you arrived at your answer. So to do this, we have to set up a mathematical equation. Chemistry has a lot of math in it. So we have iron plus oxygen makes iron oxide. We know that from up here. And it says right here that we started out with an initial mass of 223.38 grams of iron. Plus, we don't know how much oxygen. We don't know how much oxygen from the air was involved, but we know when it was all said and done, we had 319.38 grams of iron oxide. So think of this as like X in math that you're solving for. So we have to isolate the variable, get this by itself. So we'll subtract minus 223.38 grams from this side. Whatever you do to this side of the equation, you have to then do to this side, minus 223.38 grams. So 319.38 grams minus 223.38. When you punch that in your calculator, you should get 96 grams. That's how much oxygen from the air was involved to give us that total mass. So 96 grams of oxygen was added to the initial mass of 223.38 grams of iron to make that total mass of 319.38 grams of iron oxide. When you're ready, go ahead and flip your page over. So the reaction of cerium and oxygen can also be represented with the following chemical reaction. Ce plus O2 equals CeO2. That's cerium oxide. In a chemical reaction, the reactants are the substances that are presented before the reaction occurs and are changed by the reaction. In this example, the reactants are Ce and O2. So let's label that. Right here are the reactants, this side. The products are the substances presented after the reaction takes place. In this example, the product is CeO2. So this is the product on that side. So the reactant is what goes in the equation, and the product is what you make. And remember, this arrow shows that a chemical reaction occurred. Whatever goes in the reaction, Ce and O2, must come out of the reaction, Ce and O2, and in the same amounts. Okay? You can't put chocolate chip cookies in the oven and then get M&M cookies coming out of the oven. It's got to be the same type of matter and in the same amounts. You can't put 12 cookies in the oven and then all of a sudden get 20 cookies coming out of the oven. It just doesn't work that way. So if you look at the diagram or the equation, you can see that the number and type of atoms in the reactants are the same as the products. There is one cerium atom in the reactants and one in the product. See? 1 and 1. There are 2 oxygen atoms in the reactants and 2 in the products. 2 little subscript, 2 little subscript. The chemical reaction has not changed the numbers or kinds of atoms present. Another example of a chemical equation is below. It represents the reaction in which nitrogen gas, N2, and hydrogen gas, H2, combine to form ammonia, NH3. Ammonia is in a lot of cleaning products. You may be wondering why this is written into an H2. It has to do with them being diatomic molecules, where if more than one nitrogen or more than one hydrogen are present, then they're automatically going to bond together with one another. It's called diatomic. So here's the equation for that, and it is balanced with the coefficients out in front. Look at the large number 3 in front of the chemical formula H2. A number before a chemical formula is called a coefficient. We learned that back in Unit 9. This number indicates the presence of 3 molecules of hydrogen gas. The number 2 in front of the NH3 means that this chemical reaction produces 2 molecules of ammonia. Look at the diagram below and compare it to the chemical equation. So let's look at this. So we have 1 molecule of nitrogen gas. We have 1, 2, 3 molecules of hydrogen gas. And then we have 1, 2 molecules of NH3, CN, and then the 3 H's of ammonia. Okay? So we're going to answer these questions about it. So answer the following questions using the chemical equation for the formation of ammonia. So the best bet would be for you to pause the video right now and answer it yourself, and then check your work with me. There's no penalty for getting these wrong, and that's really the best way to learn this. That would be the mature student thing to do. So the first thing is, figure out how to do this. How many atoms of nitrogen are found in the reactants side of the equation? So remember, the reactants are over here and the products are over here. So there are 2. How many atoms of nitrogen are found in the product side? There are 2. They have to equal each other out. How many atoms of hydrogen are found in the reactants? 6. How many atoms of hydrogen are found in the products? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 as well. Explain how your responses provide evidence for the conservation of matter. Matter cannot be created nor destroyed. It can only change forms. What goes in the reaction must come out of the reaction. So that's going to finish us up for the notes today. Let me know if you have any questions, or your other science teacher know. And we're going to keep working on this, and this is going to lead into balancing chemical equations, which is going to kind of be like the grand finale of this unit. Have a great day.